Hello, welcome to my channel again. I will show you in this video how you can make this shepherd vest. I'm using this Katia yarn Tribu. The recommended crochet hook is between 9 and 10 millimeter crochet hook. And for the edging, I will use a thinner yarn. This is the hook with who I will work the main vest, and then for the thinner yarn for edging we will use a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook or G plus or size 7. So the front and back panel are worked together up to the armpit, so we will chain the entire number of chains, meaning 60 chain for the size small, which I am making in the video. So then chain one more, and starting with the second chain you will work single crochet all across. So we will work the back and front panels together to the armpit, and then we will split the entire piece into 3 pieces, 2 front panels and 1 back panel. After finishing the first row, we will chain 1 and then turn your work and single crochet into each stitch. And we will repeat this round until we will have 26 rows in total to the armpit. In case you want the vest to be longer, then you can add more rows on this section to the armpit. The length of the vest that I'm wearing and that we're making in this video has approximately 52 centimeters length. Okay, now that we finished the 26 rows, we split into 3 pieces. We have 30 stitches for the back panel and 15 for each front panel. And you will have to start from where your yarn is. So we will start working on the right front panel. And we will start with a decrease because we want to decrease the neckline a little bit. So always I'm working the first stitch and then making the decrease. And then we will continue with 1 single crochet into each stitch. But we will stop when we will have 3 stitches left to the stitch marker from the front panel, because we will end up this row with another decrease, because we will decrease at the armpit as well. We will work in total for the armhole depth for the all 3 pieces 15 rows. So now decrease and finish the row with 1 single crochet. Now chain 1 and turn. On this side we will continue decreasing for 2 more rows, so only 3 stitches needs to be decreased to the armpit. So making a decrease, but on the front we won't decrease anymore. For the front edge we will just keep 2 rows without 1 row with decrease and 2 rows without decreasing. This will be the pattern to repeat for the front edge or the neckline. So now I'm just continuing without decreasing on this side. Now chain 1 and we will decrease again at the armpit, and this will be the last decrease that we will do on that side. Here we are not decreasing on the neckline because, as I said, we will have a pattern to follow: 1 row plus 1 decrease plus 2 rows without decreasing. Okay, so now we will single crochet until we will have 3 stitches left, and we will finish the row with 1 decrease and with a single crochet into the last stitch. Now we finish here to decrease, so from now on here we will work straight without any decrease for the next 12 rows. So now I'm starting with 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and we will have to decrease on the neckline because it's the fourth row, sorry. And as I said, we will follow the pattern with 1 row with decrease and 2 rows without decreasing. Okay, so now the decrease, and finish the row with 1 single crochet into the last stitch. Okay, and now we will do 2 rows without decreasing and repeating until we will have 15 rows in total. So the pattern, as I said, will be 1 row with decrease, 2 rows without decreasing. So here is the front panel. You should have left 7 stitches on the shoulder. And now it's time to work the next piece, which will be the back panel. So for the back panel, we will have to decrease only the armpit stitches. So remember that we decreased 3 stitches on the front panel. This means that we will have to decrease 3 rows at the beginning and at the end of the row, and then we will continue with 12 rows without decreasing. So let's rejoin yarn in the first stitch of the back panel. You should have 30 stitches for the back panel. Okay, I will chain 1, make 1 single crochet, and then the decrease, working 2 single crochet together. Okay, now we will continue with 1 single crochet in each of the next stitches, except the last 3 stitches, because at the end of the row we will have to decrease again. Okay, I have 3 stitches left. I will decrease and then finish with 1 single crochet into the last stitch, and I will repeat this row 2 more times because we have to decrease with 3 stitches on each side. So I will start with 1 single crochet, then the decrease, and then we will continue with 1 single crochet, and at the end of the row we will decrease again. Okay, now that we finished all 3 rows with decreasing, now we can start to work 1 single crochet into each stitch, and we will continue like so for 12 more stitches. So you will need to have 15 stitches for the back panel, the armhole depth of the back panel. Okay, so we finished the back panel, and now it's time to start to work on our other front panel. This time we will have to rejoin yarn at the armpit because this is the crochet direction, and I will rejoin yarn in the exact mark stitch because I put the stitch marker into the 15th stitch. Okay, 5th. And we will make a chain, and we will have to start the row with a decrease to make the first decrease on the armpit. So now I will decrease and then continue with 1 single crochet, and remember that you have to decrease at the end of the row for the neckline. So we will stop when we have 3 stitches left, and we will continue and finishing the row with 1 decrease and 1 single crochet into the last stitch. Now on this side we won't decrease anymore for the next 2 rows, because we will follow the same pattern with 1 row with decrease and 2 rows without, but we will decrease at the end of the row because we have to decrease 2 stitches more on the armpit. So we will start the row with 1 single crochet into each stitch, and then at the end of the row we will make 1 decrease. For this vest I used only 3.5 balls of yarn of this Tribu yarn, so you don't need too much yarn to complete the vest, and only 1 skein of yarn of the thinner one. Okay, row number 3 we will have to decrease at the armpit and not decreasing on the neckline edge, and this will be the last row with decrease at the armpit, and then for the next 12 rows we will repeat the same pattern as for the other front panel, with 1 row decreasing on the neckline, 2 rows without decreasing. So we have 4 more repeats of these 3 rows. Okay, so now we will start with decrease and not decrease at the armpit. At the armpit we don't have to decrease anymore, so only on the neckline edge, and we will have to repeat 1 row with 2 rows without a decrease. In total, if it's easier for you like this, because we are 3 rows pattern with 1 decrease, so on the front neckline you will decrease with 5 stitches in over 15 rows. Okay, so we finished the front panel, the other front panel, and we will join the shoulders now. It's okay to leave a long tail from the front panel, so just use that to just join and connect the shoulders. We will just single crochet into each of the 7 stitches that we have on the shoulders, and basically with this step the vest is ready to wear, but we will still have to work a few final touches so the vest will look nicer than it is now. Okay, so I finished one side. Don't worry if you didn't left a long tail on the other side, you can just rejoin the yarn and single crochet all 7 stitches on the other shoulder. Okay, now let's move on to the edging. We will do the edging on the armholes and on the all around the vest, starting with the neckline and bottom and front panels. But let's just start with the armhole. We will just rejoin yarn, the thinner yarn that I'm using here at the armpit, and using the smaller crochet hook. I'm having the 4.5mm crochet hook here, and we will single crochet all around. Because we are working in bigger stitches, because the previous one we worked with 10mm crochet hook, we will work 2 single crochet into each hole. Either is a side row or a stitch. So every time we will work 2 single crochet into these holes that we have from the stitches on the vest. If you feel like you want to work more stitches in those holes, depending on your tension or the yarn that you are using for the edging, then make sure that you just have the stitches evenly so it looks nice. So I just worked one single row on the armhole depth, but if you want you can work more rows. You will have to repeat the same on the other armhole. And now I will show you the uh, entire vest edging. I don't even know how to say it, because basically you're working around and you're just completing the entire edge of the vest. So the same, I'm rejoining yarn at the neckline, and we will work 2 single crochet into each space, either if it's a stitch, a single crochet stitch, or a side row. And in the corner down when at the bottom, because we have to make an increase to just have a nice round corner over there, we will just have to make, usually if you're working like in the same size stitches, you're doing usually 3 stitches or 3 single crochet in 1 single stitch. So this time is the same, but only that counting that we're doing already 2 stitches in a hole, then we will work more. So we will work 5 stitches in this corner here, or I don't know, just make sure if you see that the corner is going round and nice and you are reaching the next stitch easier without having to pull the yarn too much, then it's enough. So I just did 5 stitches in that corner hole, and now I will continue with 1 single crochet around, and you'll have to proceed the same on the other corner. Now the same, if you want, you can add another round here to just make this edge thicker. I will do another round. So basically I will let for the armhole depth only 1 single round, but for the other edge I will work 1 more. So this is how it's looking the vest now. I just put a pocket already here, and we will have to work the second one. So for the pocket we will just change 16 stitches. The pocket width is actually the same as the front panel width. So if you want to have, or if you're working this vest in bigger size, you can start with more stitches, or you can do it in the same size. It's enough to fit any hand in it, so I don't think it will be an issue. Maybe just on appearance how it looks on the vest. So let's chain 16 stitches, so 5 plus 1. And then for the next 3 rows we will just single crochet into each stitch. So we won't do any decrease. So just single crochet into each stitch. Okay, and we will repeat this row 2 more times, so to have 3 rows in total. Again, the pocket has 15 rows, the same as armhole depth. So we will work 15 rows. The first 3 we will work them without any decrease, and the last 12 we will decrease only in one side of the pocket of this piece. So now let's just start with a decrease. It doesn't matter how you work the pockets, because the single crochet stitch is the same on wrong and right side. so you don't have to work the decreases in the mirror because you just flip the pocket to just fit the other side. Okay, so now we did the first decrease, and we will turn our row, and we will continue to decrease in only one side of the pocket on every row. So basically we are decreasing with 12 stitches because we have 12 rows to work, and we will have to end up with 3 stitches left because we started with 15. Again, I'm doing the decrease before and after the first or last stitch, because in this way, if you're keeping the last stitch as a normal stitch, as a single crochet, you'll have a nice edge, and it will be easier to work any edging or border on that. So this is the pocket after finishing 12 rows with decreasing. You don't have to cut the yarn because we will use it to just stitch the pocket with the vest. This pocket will be like having the base next to the bottom edging, and the side, the longer side, next to the front panel edging. That was my head and my hair. But we were using first the thinner yarn to just make an edge in the same way as we did on the vest. I'm just making sure that I'm leaving a bigger loop here not to lose this yarn, and we will do the same with 2 single crochet in each hole, which this time are side rows single crochet, and we are doing again 2 stitches. You don't have to go all around because all the other edges except this one, these 12 rows with decreases basically will be stitched together to the vest, so you don't need to add an edge over there, so only on this section over here. And now we will go on and pick our darn needle. It needs to have a big loop or hole because you'll have to make sure that this thick yarn is going through to be able to stitch the pocket with the vest. And we will go all around except the edging where the hand has to get in the pocket. Okay, so I'm preparing the yarn hoop, and I will just start to stitch together this pocket. To make sure, don't do it like I was doing. Well, it's not a problem over here because the yarn, the rows are big enough to be visible, but make sure that you use safety pins just to keep in place the pocket, and make sure that you're stitching the right stitches over there, and you're not going, I don't know, one row up or one stitch at the left. With this fuzzy yarn is not too important because it's this stitches won't be visible, but it will be easier to stitch together the pocket if the pocket is staying in place and not moving around. So use safety pins to just keep the pocket in place, and then stitch around and make sure that your pocket is laying down nicely. So basically, after finishing to make the pockets and to stitch them, the vest is done. You will need just to wave in all the ends, looser ends, and to block the vest if you want according with the label instructions. And this was it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. as well as the other ones. And please subscribe if you didn't do it yet, and I will wait till next time. Bye.